It's we can't even call it mild. We can still call it warm out there. And of course, we're going to update you on fire conditions out there. And we're also going to update you on your extended forecast coming up in just a minute. We're taking you outside to Mount Wilson as we do, mostly clear out there, 79 degrees. And that's right here at the Broadcast Center in Studio City. As we take you out to the area of the fire right there in Sage right now, we're currently at 78 degrees. Over in Marietta, we're at 76, and Temecula at 74. So the good news is we're already down into the 70s this evening. Want to talk a little bit about the gusts. We're still looking at some wind gusts, but again, they're just occurring here and there, not consistent. 16 miles an hour. And of course, fires always create their own weather right up there at the fire line. So of course, a little windier up there on the ridge tops. But other than that, down below, a little calmer and relative humidity, doing a little better at 29%. Again, we'll update you on that extended forecast. We'll tell you when we'll finally feel that relief. That's all coming up in just a little bit. Back to you.
All right, why not? You know what?
Awesome. She is precious.
All the young people in high school hating it right now. She couldn't wait to go back.
I know, right? It always works
You'll
like
miss
that.
it. You'll miss it, kids.
Exactly.
You appreciate things as you get older.
Later.
Right,
Rick?
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
No, I'm kidding.
Don't take it for granted. Don't take school for granted.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, we're back in school today.
Yeah.
Today was back to school for LAUSD,
Some kids, yeah.
right?
That's
Yeah.
right.
And some kids just yesterday as well. So it's that back to school
Boy,
week, and
recess has got to be tough.
Yeah.
recess must be
Well,
really tough.
And we just told you about a story that some kids in the Inland Empire didn't have any air conditioning in their classrooms. That's
brutal. And it was very hot in the Inland Empire. We're going to tell you exactly how hot it got there earlier today. We're going to tell you how much hotter it's going to get as we head into the next few days as well. It's pretty amazing because the heat really isn't taking a break. We are cooling a few degrees. There's a little less humidity out there. You may have felt that today, but we're still looking at very hot temperatures. So let's get to those numbers. Let's get outside as well. And as we do, you're going to the fire. Again, we've been reporting on it all day long. We still have the latest for you coming up. But I do want to tell you 78 degrees right now in Sage. So 70s in the area, relative humidity about 29%, and winds down to about 3 miles per hour with gusts up to 16 miles an hour. So conditions already getting a little better for the firefight out there tonight. So of course, we'll have more on the conditions out on the fire lines. We do want to show you radar. Look at the bigger picture right here. We've dealt with a little bit of rain out there, a few thunderstorms, not as much monsoonal moisture today because there is low pressure that's entered the picture, and that's kept some of it out. That's actually kept us a little cooler, a little drier, and that will continue to be the case over the next 24 hours. 76 in Downey right now, 79 in Valencia, and 85 in Palmdale. So temperatures today. Orange County, Laguna Beach, you got up to 82 degrees, Hemet 103, Woodland Hills 105, Palmdale 106, and Riverside you got up to 105. So technically you were a little cooler than where we were yesterday, amazingly, but it's still quite warm out there. For the Basin in Orange County, we're in the 80s for the remainder of the week, and yes, that is above average. By the weekend, we're introducing just a little more cloud cover into the mix, and as we get a look at one more 5-day forecast for you this evening, you're going to see that same pattern, well, just staying warm. A couple degrees cooler for the next couple of days, warmer for the weekend, but of course for the coast it's pretty pleasant. Mid-70s, mid to upper 70s with a little more cloud cover in the mix. We're going to talk about those inland spots coming up in just a little bit. Rick and Sharon, back to you. Okay. Or soda, or a piece of cake, or something in the house. There we go. They look
piece of cake.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, it is hot out there, and most of us want to be in an air-conditioned building. Right here at the Broadcast Center, nice and cool inside, but outside we're at 77 degrees. You'll see plenty of people outside on the pier in Santa Monica. Great place to be. The coast got up into the 70s today, and well, a little cooler tonight. We're down into the 60s. So you'll see right here as we take you out to the fire lines. It's an area we've been eyeing all day long. You'll see 77 degrees in Sage right now. So 70s predominantly in the area. Wind actually coming out of the southwest. Gusts at 16 miles an hour, but sustained winds at about 2 miles an hour. So that's good news. Relative humidity is at 29%. So it is on the up and up, and that's good news as well. We did see a few thunderstorms earlier today, not as many as what we've been seeing over the last few days. That's because low pressure has settled in, and with that, it's a little less humid. It hasn't let all that monsoonal moisture make its way into the forecast, so it has been a little drier out there. No excessive heat warnings to speak of, with the exception of, well, the eastern Riverside County area right there over the 10. So we're still looking at that. That should be in effect for at least another little while there. You'll see radar. We are dealing with a few residual drops and just a little bit of monsoonal moisture, but nothing compared to where we've been, even though we are expecting more of it. You'll see the brunt of it sitting to our east over Nevada at this point and into Arizona. We're seeing plenty of it. But here at home, we're bracing for more, but we're looking at less as we head into tomorrow. Temperatures in the 60s, 70s, and 80s right now. We'll let you know what you can expect tomorrow and through the rest of the week. That's all coming up in a little bit. Rick and Sharon, back to you. Regularly?
Yes, I did. But
And
I was
did it
exhausted by the time I got to shore.
But it helped.
exhausted.
It helped, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so there
I
you go.
got back to shore.
There
I'm
you go.
here.
Good.
There we go.
Good point.
You're back. Yeah. Did you get back? Well, yes.
Otherwise,
Yeah, not
I'd
so
be sitting
good.
next to somebody else.
Aw. Okay, let's not even go there and talk about that. Let's get to your forecast. And yes, be careful in the water and be careful in the heat too, because it is quite hot out there. We're at 76 degrees. That's right here at the Broadcast Center in Studio City. As we get a look at radar, there is still an excessive heat warning for East Riverside County. Currently in effect, you'll also see just a little bit of moisture over the desert as well. We didn't see a whole lot of it today, at least not compared to where we've been. That's because a low actually swung into our forecast, and it kept a lot of that moisture from getting to us. You'll see a lot of it still sitting to our east over the Central Valley, over Nevada, spanning all the way over into Arizona and Utah right there, but that's eventually going to make its way into the forecast a little later in the week. Temperatures right now in the 70s and 80s, 85 in Palmdale, 85 in Riverside, 75 in Laguna Beach. You actually made it to 82, so a gorgeous day along the Orange County coastline. Hemet 103, Woodland Hills, kinda is the key word, but yes, it is a little cooler. It was a couple degrees cooler today. It's going to continue to cool down just a little bit as we head into tomorrow, and a little less humidity out there, which isn't good news for the fire that is burning out near Temecula. So we're going to continue to track the forecast there, of course, tracking your extended forecast and your short-term forecast here as well. Take a look. We take you to the coast. This is a great place to be. A lot of people kind of have the right idea tonight. Out at the beach where it's a little cooler. It's cooler tonight. It was cooler there today. In the 70s at the coast today. Other than that, still saw triple digits inland and 80s in the basin. As we get a look at radar right here, I want to show you relative humidity around the fire lines dropping to about 49%. Temperatures in the 70s and winds a little calmer. So a little better out there, of course. Great news for firefighters, but of course still we have a ways to go. So we're going to continue tracking conditions out there. We're also tracking an excessive heat warning over eastern Riverside County. That's in effect right now, but pretty much everybody else unaffected, and we have been, well, minimally affected by the monsoonal moisture today. A few isolated thunderstorms, but we are expecting much more later in the week. We certainly saw much more earlier in the week as well. Temperatures right now into the 70s and the 80s. A very warm night out there. 85 in Riverside, 74 in Downey and Malibu. You're currently at 66, a little cooler. Temperatures today look like this. Laguna Beach at a very warm 82, Hemet 103, Woodland Hills 105, Palmdale 106, and Riverside you got up to 105. So across the board, for the most part, we were a little cooler. High pressure is persisting and temperatures are still above average. There is a low coming in. So with that, we're looking at a little bit of a cooling and just a chance of thunderstorms in the forecast as well, but mainly later in the week. 88 earlier today in downtown, so we were a few degrees above average. Tomorrow, a couple degrees cooler across the board. Not cool, but just cooler. 91 Anaheim, 100 Riverside, and 102 as we head to Woodland Hills tomorrow afternoon. As we get a look at your forecast right here, you will see low pressure sitting to the west, so that's actually causing us to cool down a little bit. It's pushing out some of this monsoonal moisture that's been in the forecast, but we're expecting this high to continue to push westward a little later in the week. So with that, we will see a much warmer forecast and we will see monsoonal moisture. Triple digits across the board into your inland spots. We'll show you what it looks like in the basin at the beach. That's all coming up in a little bit. Back to you. We're trying to find out if the temperatures will ever change. We are expecting a little bit of a cool down, but will we feel it? We'll have all the answers coming right up.
Old, 120, all kinds of surprises that the weather is revealing.
It's amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, a lot of surprises.
Well, of course, they've got a lot of problems back there, too. But
Absolutely.
It's a little something a little interesting for the folks back there that may be suffering.
Exactly, as we are too, which we don't say that very often. Usually we sort of juxtapose video of what's going on the other side of the country and we say, oh, and here at home, we're just so lucky.
Not so much.
But we can't really say the same. This is one time that we really aren't that lucky, right, in a lot of senses. A lot of us like the heat. I'm trying to think of some upsides, but certainly it brought us down a little bit today. Of course, the Broadcast Center in Studio City, we are currently at 75 degrees. So pretty comfortable conditions outside right now. Let's get a look right here. We're not looking at a lot of watches or warnings in our area. In fact, nothing really with the exception of eastern Riverside County and down to the south of us, closer to San Diego County over Imperial County. We are dealing with an excessive heat warning. But here at home, things have calmed down a little bit. It's been a little cooler. It's still hot. It's still going to be a little cooler tomorrow, but we can't call it cool. It's still well above average. And at this point, we're not looking at a lot of moisture. Monsoonal moisture sitting to our east, and later in the week, we could start to see it pick up again. So with that, more isolated thunderstorms in the forecast over the high mountains and the high desert. high desert in the mountains, actually. 83 in Palmdale, 79 Valencia, 73 in Downey, 84 in Riverside. And as we head over to Laguna Beach, you are currently at 71 degrees. And earlier today, you got up to 82 degrees. A very nice forecast at the coast. Hemet 103, Woodland Hills 105. And yes, that's actually cooler than yesterday. We got up to 106 yesterday at Pierce College. Palmdale 106 and Riverside 105. That was earlier today. Downtown got up to 88. So you were about 4 degrees above average. By tomorrow, actually only a couple degrees above average, and we will be a couple degrees cooler overall across the board. Let's get a look at some of those forecast highs for you tomorrow. Anaheim getting up to 91, Palmdale 102, and Woodland Hills 102 as well. And even though we are still striking the triple digits in a lot of spots, we're still cooler than today. So that's the good news for a lot of us. For the Basin in Orange County, a couple degrees cooler tomorrow. We got up to 88, then tomorrow 86, keeping things that way for Thursday, and then a little warmer as we head toward the weekend. Upper 80s and maybe a little bit of cloud cover in the mix for the Basin in Orange County. As we get a look at the coast right here, mid 70s turning to mid to upper 70s as we head into Friday and your weekend with a little more cloud cover in the mix. Not a whole lot. We're still talking plenty of sunshine in the afternoon. And remember, later in the week, we are expecting to maybe see a few more thunderstorms as that monsoonal moisture moves right back into the forecast. Lena and Sylvia, back to you.
All right.
Sharon, at this point, conditions are getting a little better for the firefight out there, so that's great news. As we get a look outside here, nice and mild, but we do want to switch gears and take you right back out to the fire lines. You're going to see temperatures in the area into the 70s. We're also looking at wind at about 4 miles an hour. That's great news at this point. It is coming from the east, so it has shifted a little bit, but it is calm. Wind gusts earlier were up at about 16 miles an hour, but since it has calmed down. Relative humidity is up from earlier today. We're at 49%. That's also great news because it's not nearly as dry as it was earlier today. So great news for the firefight tonight. And we are expecting a bit of a cool down tomorrow. So we're going to have the latest on that in your extended forecast. That's all coming up in just a little bit. Rick and Sharon, back to you. It's really cute. And we're getting a look outside right now. It's warm and it's staying that way, at least for now. We'll have that forecast and let you know when we'll ever feel some relief. And we're also checking in on the fire lines. This is actually video from earlier today near Hemet, near Temecula right there where the fire is burning over the course of the day. The good news right now, though, as we check in with conditions on the fire lines, we're down into the 70s and even the upper 60s. Relative humidity is up at 56%. Just a few hours ago, we were at 29%, then worked our way up into the 30s. Now we're in the 50s. So that's good news. It's not nearly as dry out there. And again, it wasn't too windy earlier today, but it is calmer than it was. We did see some wind gusts upwards of 16 miles an hour earlier today. Of course, up on the fire lines, on the ridge tops, it is a little windier up there because fires do create their own conditions. But right now, wind speeds in the area in the single digits and relative humidity in the double digits. And that's exactly what we want. So we're going to continue to track conditions for you as we move through the night. And, well, you'll see right here on radar an excessive heat warning in effect for eastern Riverside County. And that's going to stay in effect until 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Other than that, no watches or warnings to speak of. Not a lot of moisture out there, but we did see a little bit of monsoonal moisture work its way in. Not a whole lot compared to where we've been, but we are expecting more. As high pressure continues to build later in the week, we're going to see it, well, let that monsoonal moisture in. So with that, isolated thunderstorms in the mountains and the deserts. Temperatures very mild. Very warm even tonight. 71 in Downey, 82 in Riverside, 84 in Palmdale, and 78, and that's for Valencia. We got up to 82 in Laguna Beach today. Hemet at 103, Woodland Hills 105, Palmdale 106, Riverside 105. So we actually were technically a little cooler today, and by tomorrow we're going to be a little cooler as well. Still not cool by any stretch of imagination, but we were cooler. 88, that was the forecast high today in downtown. So we were 4 degrees above average. We're shedding a couple of degrees as we head into tomorrow afternoon, getting up to about 86 degrees. Santa Monica 74, Anaheim 91, Palmdale 102, and Woodland Hills. You're getting up to 102 tomorrow, so we are again cutting off a few degrees from our forecast highs today. Futurecast is set for the overnight hours. We're not seeing much in the way of cloud cover. We're trying to look for a little bit of monsoonal moisture, and you'll see not a whole lot, but we are expecting that chance to, well, increase as we move toward the later part of the week. And with that, temperatures are going to get up into the 80s in the Basin for the next few days. That's for the Basin and for Orange County as we head into the weekend. A little more cloud cover for you as we get a look at your next 5-day forecast right here, you're going to see that same pattern where we're going to drop a couple degrees tomorrow and then warm up a few degrees as we head toward the weekend. Finally, getting a look at one more 5-day forecast as we head into the valleys and the Inland Empire, triple digits all week long. We're cutting off a few degrees over the next couple of days, but then we're back up to numbers like 103 for the rest of the weekend. We are expecting a few clouds, but really that won't get in the way of any of the heat. Rick and Sharon, back to you.
All right.